Hey guys, welcome to another SAC podcast bullpen interview, where we previously had starting pitcher for Davidson University Nolan, Evansville head coach Wes Carroll, Bethune-Cookman's assistant hitting coach Jose, and the Oregon Ducks head coach Waz. Today's bullpen interview, or Brendan, what do you think? We should call this a batting practice session, don't you think?
Yeah, this week's BP episode.
Because that's what our special guest Ryan Guardino of Tennessee Tech made it look like last week. Ryan, welcome to the podcast, man. Thanks for coming on such short notice, man. How are you doing today?
Good, Austin. Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, for sure. What a small world it is too, because the last episode that we recorded was with my dad, Danny Sugis, and he played college baseball with your dad. So I also want to apologize too, because, I guess I dropped the ball on the tradition of, us and the family tradition playing together. So sorry, I couldn't follow that up on my end.
Oh man, you're good. I was surprised too. And my dad texted me. He's like, "Hey, old friend of mine that I played with, son runs a pretty cool podcast, and they thought that you'd be a good guest." So yeah.
Oh, for sure, man. And first of all, we want to just congratulate you on being the NCAA Player of the Week, the SAC Pod Player of the Week, and most importantly, the Foul Pole's Big Swinging Dick Player of the Week. So how does it feel to have the biggest swinging dick in college baseball right now, Ryan?
Definitely gave me some confidence to the plate for sure. And yeah,
dude, last week you had 17 at bats, 10 hits, and 7 of those 10 hits were home runs. That's just incredible stuff, man. You're seeing the ball like a beach ball out there. So, I mean, in all seriousness, is there anything you did last week to prepare for this upcoming week? Is there something, you tweak, your swing with, or prepared for something in practice?
Yeah, actually there was. The last few weeks, and actually that game against Vanderbilt, I just felt like I was tying myself off. And by that, I mean my shoulder was closed off a little bit, and my bat was kind of coming through the zone as a door where I wanted to swing through the zone, right?
Right.
So I changed up my swing path a little bit, opened myself up, let my hands work, let everything, and just because I the last few weeks I've been kind of missing pitches that I know I should hit, and just gave myself the space to work.
As far as like off-speed pitches, or just anything in general, like in a specific zone, would you say that you were struggling out, that you tried to work on?
So I don't really think about swinging at a fastball or a curveball. I like to see it and react, because so I anticipate a good pitch to hit, and that's enough thinking that I can do personally. And basically
it's just all reaction right there. Yep. And fundamentals. Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know our listeners would love to hear more about you. I know you're from Santa Barbara, California. And can you just tell them a little bit about yourself, like upcoming through high school, and then how you ended up in Tennessee Tech?
Okay, so high school, my junior year was kind of my first point that I realized, hey, I can play college baseball. I batted over 400, and I just hit a growth spurt my junior year. So I got fast, tall, kind of learning my body. But I would say I was a pretty raw player. Didn't really deserve to even play Division I coming straight out of high school, even though I had an offer and I accepted it. But after thinking about it, I decided to go to Santa Barbara City College, which is a junior college, and it was also free, which was a pretty good idea.
Yeah. How was that experiences in the JUCO?
My freshman year, I really did not do well, right? Hit like a $188. Just
oh wow.
Yeah, just didn't understand the game. And the next year I redshirted because I just didn't think I was ready. But I ended up seeing a hitting coach called Doug Latta, if you guys are familiar with his stuff. But
he's out in like, California.
He was behind like Justin Turner. He's his hitting coach. So he kind of So he has unconventional ways, but I tried it out and I really liked it. And my next year, junior college, I kind of realized like baseball's a grind if you're doing it right, and in a good way. I like the grind. And I had this teammate actually named Shane who he was a catcher, so he wasn't like too fast, but he told me we were doing like 5-yard sprints, like 20 of them. He said if I beat you on one of them, then I win. And I think like I beat him on like 15 in a row, and then just the 16th he cheated. He left early. And I was like, it's cutthroat, man. From then on, I just turned it on, and yeah, I killed it that
awesome.
year. Mm-hmm.
Where did you go after JUCO?
I went to Wofford, which is in South Carolina. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good this year too.
Yeah, I like all the guys there. I got nothing against them. Just wasn't the right fit for me.
Yeah, and then this year you transferred to Tennessee Tech.
Mm-hmm.
This is your junior year.
Athletically, yes, but I'm graduating this year.
This year. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And also, while we're on the subject of big swinging dicks, let's talk about pickles. So I knew you played for the Portland Pickles, was it?
Yeah.
And how was that experience? Who are the Portland Pickles, and how did you get there?
Man, the Portland Pickles is a fun summer experience. It was great, dude.
You have good teammates, good coaches, just relaxed baseball. Is it like a summer league out there, or?
Yeah, well, we're getting around 2,000 plus fans a game at this really close park. So I just felt like everyone was on top of you, and I'd go out in the outfield. Yeah, I'd go out in the outfield and I'd be warming up with the fans, like playing catch with them.
Oh, dude, that's what it's all about right there. Yeah, because I saw an interview of you and another dude, and he's holding up a pickle with the mic, and he's talking. Oh, dude, that's awesome. I have a question too that I've always kind of wanted to know as far as college baseball goes, because I know during the season you guys have midweek games, and then you have, obviously your weekend series. So as far as like coaching or practice, is there anything different that you guys do in midweeks than you do right before the weekend series? Because it seems like, some of these teams during midweeks, they kind of tend to struggle, or they're out of it, or they don't treat it as like a weekend series. So do you have any words on that?
I like to personally try and take the same approach to every game. I do understand what you're saying. There's definitely a different vibe, on those midweek games that they don't feel like they mean anything.
Yeah, they're kind of sluggish.
Exactly. At the end of the day, I mean, baseball is baseball, and if I keep my approach at the plate and the defense, I'll play hopefully the same. But I definitely know what you're saying as far as the midweek is a little less serious to some people.
And earlier this year, were you injured at all, or because I saw during the Tennessee game, that you didn't play, and you didn't play for like a couple of those games. Were you dealing with an injury?
I was just a little cold, and that's the nature of college baseball. The guy who replaced me, I love him, and he took 101 deep with a wood bat. That was the coolest thing to watch.
Man,
when you see that happen, and you got nothing to do but cheer, because that is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, for sure. But
what was that feeling in that dugout after beating Tennessee? Because I know that was probably absolutely insane.
Yeah, so that feeling started on the bus ride there. That feeling on the bus, I was sitting there and I looked around and I was like, wow, we're winning today. Everyone on that bus thought we're the better team. And I mean, once he hit that home run, it was like, all right, well, let's just get outs, and when we won, after, our coach, everybody was just like, we're excited.
How did that even come about with the wood bats versus metal did they tell you guys like in advance, or was it just like a quick adjustment that both teams agreed on?
So I'm not positive, but at the beginning of the year, it was already scheduled with wood. I had a friend ask me, he was like, yeah, so Tennessee, people think that they got juiced bats. Is that why you're playing with wood? But
that's crazy, man. Did you talk to Carter after the game? Because dude, he pitched 5.2 innings, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, and 9 Ks against Tennessee. What a crazy feeling that's got to be for him, man.
Yeah, his go-to bread and butter is a splitter, and then you mix that in with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and he just had people guessing.
That's dirty.
That was insane.
That's dirty. But you're hitting in like the 350s, 370s on the year, man. So you're seeing the ball really well right now. Also, we were talking last night about some elite teams that you guys have played so far. Is there a specific play that you had against a big team that you really enjoyed? Like, I know you were talking to me about that Auburn game. How was that feeling? And just tell the listeners about that and what happened.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite moment of the year so far. Was I was playing right field and I dove for a ball and it got by me. Guy ended up getting a triple, and we got an out after that. But then there was one out, and a guy hit a fly ball to me, and I come in, I catch it, and I knew he was a fast runner on third, but I threw it hard on a line, just right through the cut, skipped up, and just on the money throw, our catcher just slammed it on the kid's face, and he was out.
I love to hear that against Auburn too.
Yeah.
So you just threw a laser from right field to third and got him out.
Yeah, and our catcher's a big dude, and he smacked the kid in the face. Like, he got him hard, and it was the same.
They deserved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely deserved it.
Yeah. So.
Brennan, do you have any other questions for him, or do you want to get into the quick pitch?
I kind of want to talk about that UT Martin series a little bit. Went up there, you basically batted 500 with home runs and then tacked on an extra 3. Like, did you have, like, I know you talked about changing your approach or whatever, but like after you hit 3, like, were you like, I'm going for more?
Yeah, I had teammates saying, let's get 4 today. Let's get 4 today. And then I started to try a little bit, and I hit a single my next at bat, but I really got a little too big there at the end. I just learned from it the next day. And then the next day, of course, when you're not trying, I walked up to the plate. The catcher said, hey, so how many home runs are you going to hit today? And I said, I don't know. We'll see. Second pitch, I hit a ball, and I kind of just like was running to first. I said, well, there's one. And
oh, dude, that's awesome. But yeah, so like you say, in your approach, you don't want to really try to, because I know these guys in the MLB now, it's almost like, they either hit a home run or they strike out, and that's not really the approach, that players should be looking for. They should just want to try to hit line drives or, get something in the gap, right?
Yeah. My approach is, I think 2 things, and it's Harvey Dorfman. He has a book called The Mental Keys to Hitting, and his main things are see the ball, like you were saying, seeing it like a beach ball is when you see the ball, and then his other thing is be easy. So it's kind of like, you take a deep breath and just get in the box, and you're like, hey, like it's the same thing if you're driving a golf ball, the harder you swing, the worse it's going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
I know all about that. You know what I don't know about though is hitting 490-foot dongs.
Oh yeah,
dude, how did that feel off the bat?
Yeah, that one was crazy because it was right in the wheelhouse, perfect timing, and it went so high that I thought, whoa, like, and it was crazy because my teammate showed me the ball and it had a dent in it, so kind of
that's ridiculous.
Like, yeah, off the bat it felt a little weird. I was like, like maybe I didn't get all of it, but then I watched it go over the lights and I was like, yeah, no, I got all of that. Yeah.
Awesome.
490. That's incredible, man. That's like Bryce Harper stuff right there. Whenever he was in like, what was it, college or JUCO, something like that.
Yeah, I think that was him when he was in high school, which is even crazier.
Oh, dude, that's nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got some quick pitch questions for you. It's just basically, not rapid fire, but you can just answer them as we go. And my first one for you is, who do you try to model your game after? Is there somebody specific that you like to see?
I'm a Giants fan. I loved Buster Posey's, just his approach to the game, and then also Brandon Crawford. Those are some two guys I really like.
They can swing it too, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is, so I've noticed with you, you go old school, you go raw, man. No batting gloves. Is
Yeah.
that something you've done your whole life? Is that something your dad taught you? Did he do that in high school or college?
He's gritty too. So he was a two-way in college, and I don't know if he wore batting gloves or not, but he's definitely a hard worker. And watching that, I guess I kind of wanted to be one too. So I was like, I don't want to wear batting gloves. I just don't need them.
Just rub some dirt on your hands and you're good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit 490 dongs. That's the secret sauce, I guess.
Yeah. So.
Is there any significance, behind your number that you wear, or is it just just a random number?
Mm-hmm. My favorite number is 8, but Dave Winfield wore 31, and he's awesome player. He was he got drafted in 4 different leagues, something crazy like that. So
it's nuts.
Yeah, I like to think that I'm kind of like him, in the lowest level of him, but yeah.
No, not right now.
Yeah, getting up there.
You are getting up there. Is there one of your favorite, spots to eat at Tennessee Tech? What would you say that is?
Oh, favorite spot to eat. I just had Texas Roadhouse for the first time. I'd never had that.
What? For the first time?
Yeah, dude. I know.
Oh man.
Oh, God.
Did you try the rolls?
The rolls, man. The rolls.
Dude, you eat a whole basket of those things. That's nuts. What'd you have? Would you eat a steak for lunch or what?
I love steak, and they had a good one. So
that's good, man. Texas Roadhouse is awesome. I obviously have a lot of Texas Roadhouse down here because I'm in Dallas, so I eat over there all the time. Is there any pregame rituals you have before the game? Is there anything you do special?
Yeah, there's things I do every day and every night that I like to get my routine. Like just I like to like regular cleanliness, make that a routine for myself. And I sometimes shave. I like to shave, be fresh shaven, and I meditate every night. I have something called a Shakti mat. If you ever heard of those or seen those.
No, what's that?
Actually, I have it right here. It's kind of like, it's pretty cool. It's just a little mat, and these are all spiky, right? Can't tell if you see it, but it's like acupressure, and it just my head hits the pillow. I just envision myself having success the night before.
Yeah, and baseball's, I feel personally that baseball's more of a mental sport than anything, than any other sport possible, because literally the game of baseball is made up from failure. You're a good hitter if you get on base or hit the ball 3 times out of 10. So that's a failing rate, which is it's just crazy. So meditation and just your mindset is just everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Especially like you were saying at some part of the year, you were kind of in a slump and weren't hitting well. And then you've look at you now, like you bounced back, you got the NCAA player of the week, and you're going to hopefully continue it from there. So it's just nuts how baseball is, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, because especially, you were saying too, whenever you were at that JUCO, the first year, struggling to where you are now, it's just crazy.
And it's like, the way I think about it is you have your approach, you have your result, and then you have your reaction. So if you have a good approach, a bad result, the only thing you control from there is your reaction, and that's going to affect your next approach. So if I just have a good reaction, I learn from my mistake. Like I learned that, hey, I swung too hard. I tried to hit a pitch I couldn't. I got myself out. Next at bat, I've learned from that and have a good approach.
Yeah, especially just like you were saying too, whenever you were playing Auburn, and did you say a ball went past your glove? And then so you dove for it, missed it, and then right afterwards, you just made a hell of a play. So it's good to just, get that out of the way and, continue moving forward with baseball. Is there a favorite baseball moment that you had in your career that you'll just absolutely never forget? Is there one in specific that you can think of? Is it the winning the home run derby with the pickles?
That was fun, but actually the coolest moment I ever had was like our rival little leagues would always have a freeway series, is what we called it. And my team, I was a 9-year-old playing with like the 12 and 13-year-olds that year. I had turned 10 like halfway through the year. And
Damn.
yeah, like the hardest throwing lefty from their little league was on the mound, and we were losing, I think 3-0. So I came up with the bases loaded. I just remember being like a 10-year-old. My dad just was the coach, and he looked at me and goes, "Hit the shit out of the ball." And I was like, "Oh, he said shit. Like, that's crazy."
John.
Yeah, so I
That's
walked
great.
up the plate, yeah, and I hit the shit out of it to right field, hit like a grand slam to take the lead. It was the coolest thing ever.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's your favorite baseball memories when you were that age too. So that's really cool to see. And yeah, speaking of your dad, I was talking to my dad too, and he said that John drove a Bronco back in the day. Are you whipping a Bronco right now? Or what are you whipping? What are you whipping?
I have a Chevy Silverado. I got
A
that.
Chevy truck. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Because my dad was saying that John, he would be in his Bronco and going around North Texas campus. He wouldn't even go through the actual streets. He would cut through with his Bronco through the buildings to get to go to like practice or to go somewhere to eat. Does that sound like your dad?
Man, he hasn't told me about that, but
Uh-oh, so you're just spilling secrets.
No,
Dude,
that's
we're
awesome.
gonna have him on the pod, man. We're gonna put him on. Apparently, he's got some crazy baseball stories for us. So
Yeah. He's got some cool stories. He watches a game and he knows every pitch that's going to be thrown. He'll watch an MLB game and he knows every pitch. And I still talk to him about that kind of stuff. And
yeah, man, it's great to have a relationship with your dad too, especially with his background as well. So yeah, Brennan, you got anything else? You got any other questions?
No. That's pretty much it for the little quick fires we had.
That's it for the quick fires.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan. Well, it was great having you on our first ever batting practice session. So thanks for coming on such short notice too. We really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's fun.
You got it. And good luck this weekend against Eastern Illinois.
Thank you.
Keep hitting those balls like beach balls.
Yeah. All right.
Hit one 490 for me. All right.
All right. I got you. I'll try and hit one.
All right. We'll keep in touch, man.
All right. Cool.
All right,
Thanks for
cool.
coming
Later.
on.